morning, folks. It's February 1st, 2023. Welcome back to Crypto Clown World. Just want to get started today. Just a little pre-FOMC FOMO. Want to see if there's anything we can glean from the price action. And potentially if there's anybody out there in the live chat that has any questions. We can do AMA or whatever it might be. So with that in mind, I am your host with the honks, Jason Bruce, coming to you live and direct from Crypto Clown World and the Crypto Clown World Studios. And we're going to get it started this morning. Let's take a look here. We're going to kick over to the ES1 E-mini futures for the S&P. And what we're seeing here right now, I think actually is my music cutting out for some reason. Awesome. All right. Let's try and keep it going without the music for just a second. We'll see if we can get that to kick back in. Taking a look at this 24-minute time frame on the ES1 E-mini futures, we can see that we're kind of bouncing between support and resistance here after making a move up out of this falling wedge that I had highlighted in the last live stream. It really doesn't want to play my music today. It's awesome. So, maybe you guys can hear that one. It's just not going to give me the music here. All right. We're not going to worry about that. Just going to jump right in. This is just going to be a quick update. We are going to do a more intensive live stream as we're leading up to the Fed announcement later on today. I just wanted to do a quick rundown here and see where we're at. Momentum is kind of waning here a little bit as we see kind of a lower high here in this structure. S&P creates some goofy market structure sometimes. So we do kind of see some fluttering with the RSI here right now after breaking out of this triangle. And we'll see if potentially we can work our way out of this and continue to move up as we did negotiate our way into this upper band. I do want to swing out because we did have a big occurrence yesterday with the monthly close for the S&P. And we can see right here that this monthly candle did close above this downtrend line channel. So that to me is pretty bullish. You've also got your stochastic RSI moving into a position of strength above that 20 range. So no longer oversold, trying to work our way up to this midpoint here, and the RSI gaining strength just above the 50 level. So I do like the confluence of those indicators right now in terms of where we're at with this downtrend line. And this is our middle Bollinger Band here on this monthly chart. So I do believe price will be gravitating up towards this level. So let's look for 4,200 plus in the coming weeks for the S&P futures. Let's jump over to Bitcoin. See, we've got some people in the chat. Finally able to interact with y'all here. I have the chat brought up on my screen, so feel free to ask me any questions, and if we do have some time, maybe real quick, we'll jump into a few coins if you have anything to look at there. So I'm going to jump over real quick to the 7-minute time frame on Binance USDT. You can see that we did have a little bit of a move here, and we are trying to negotiate this point of control right around $23,087. And it looks like we got a little bit of a cup and handle brewing there. So if we take a look here, we'll just highlight that real quick. And really what it kind of created was a little bit of a falling broadening wedge. Those falling broadening wedges typically are bullish patterns, so we did break out of that. Now we're upside of the neckline of this cup and handle. So the hope would be that would take us up to our next level here. So if we take that to the breakout area, not a huge move there. Obviously this is the micro. Right now this is minutia, so potentially in the next few hours here we may be able to move up to that 23,293, 23,300 level. How's the sound quality today, guys? Is the mic okay? You guys hearing me loud and clear? Let me know in the comments. So we can look at the price action here. It's moving up right now off this little neckline. I would expect this to keep moving up in the short term. And keep in mind, this is confirmation of a breakout from this triangle yesterday. So the hope would also be with this move that we would be seeing the move to the larger targets of that pattern, which I believe was up here in this area, 23,487, 23,614. So that's kind of what Bitcoin's doing in the short term this morning. I'm going to jump over and highlight the monthly close. Remove that circle because that was minutia. Actually, this isn't really the chart to highlight the monthly close on. Let's jump over to this Coinbase chart. See if this looks a little cleaner. Too many lines on that last one. I may need another one here as well. Yeah, it's a little too dirty too. Let's take a look at another one. Try to have a number of charts running for Bitcoin so that we can get a different picture, micro and macro. So this is Bitstamp versus US dollar. There's a pretty significant price history with this one. And we can see right now this was a large bullish engulfing candle for the month of January for Bitcoin. So nice bullish progress there. So the hope will be to build on that candle. And something that I would kind of reference throughout Bitcoin's history when it has printed these types of candles, typically you're going to see continuation after that. Even if it just is here as a sort of fake out to the upside or a wick off to the upside, as we saw in the run-up to the all-time high in 2021. But if you take a look here, these types of candles, when you're starting a reversal on a trend, which I believe is what we're seeing right now, you're typically going to see follow through with another green candle. So you see follow through with another green candle there after switching trend. Switch trend here, follow through with another green candle. We can move back in time here as we get this green candle on the reversal. We did at least get the follow through on that wick off before some consolidation and a move up So typically we can look at this type of thing as a reversal, especially with the strength of this candle in relation to the last one. It typically marks the end of a downtrend. So you can see we are trying to gain strength on the stochastics and the RSI on this monthly time frame as well. So it is going to take a little more time to confirm that, but we do have this blue moving on top, so that is a bullish indication. We really want to get above this 20 level, and then that's going to give us confirmation that we are absolutely for sure bullish, as well as this 50 level on the RSI. So those are good things to take a look at. I want to highlight real quick as well. I just want to take a quick look here and see if we did get the line break, and we did. So we got the monthly line break, and that's a huge indication, folks. Huge. So this line break, you don't really get false signals off of it. You can see the last time this broke, look at the run up that we had. We went from 3,000 all the way up to that all-time high. So I think this needs to be heeded as a very strong bullish signal. I have been already catching flack from the haters after putting my content out recently about how I shouldn't be bullish, and I'm telling people to buy, which is absolutely ridiculous. I don't think I've told anybody to buy during the 2 live streams or anytime recently in my discords. I have noted that there have been some times where you might be able to pick up, say, a scalp long position, but honestly, the one thing to really keep in mind is, first and foremost, most importantly, I am not a financial advisor. Do not take anything that I say on this channel or anything that I do on this channel as financial advice. Make sure that you get yourself a financial advisor and do your own research and due diligence before jumping into any investment, trade, or otherwise. So real quick before we jump out of these monthly line break candles, just one last thing to highlight. We do see the RSI has flipped above this 50 level, showing that this is gaining strength right now. So some people are predicting a new all-time high as early as the end of this year. Looking at this chart, I can't disagree with the potential possibility of that. And I'm just going to take a quick measured move here. And keep in mind, this chart doesn't include wicks. So this only goes up to the candle body close around 63,000. But we're going to extrapolate that out to where the line actually breaks here, right? Oh boy. That takes us up to 300K, folks. No guarantees, nothing written in stone. Once again, this is not financial advice. But that's what the chart is telling us. That would be a fantastic move for Bitcoin and cryptocurrency holders. That would be a 20x for Bitcoin from the $15,000 bottom after the FTX crash. Is that possible, folks? This chart is telling us it is. Keep that in mind as a possibility as we are navigating crypto while dealing with clown world. So I want to jump over real quick to this DX1 futures for the DXY dollar index. I haven't seen folks really using this futures index for DXY, but I do believe it may give us a little more accurate indication of where the Dixie is headed. So right now, doesn't look like it's headed up, does it? This 4-hour chart is showing the stochastics RSI is losing momentum, heading bearish, lost the 50 level on the RSI, moving into bearish territory, trying to test the bottom of the Bollinger Bands after crashing through the middle band. After an attempt here, it looks like, to try and break out of this falling wedge. which technically should be a bullishly biased pattern as we've discussed on the last couple live streams. But with where this is trading right now and where this fell off here, there is a possibility that it just continues to trend downwards a little bit more before seeing a potential consolidation or possible bounce, or maybe just continue to grind sideways for a little while longer before being rejected here or trying to make a breakout. Keep in mind, where this price action is at. It's in perfect confluence with this 0.5 Fibonacci, just above it. So nothing saying that we have to go either direction with the DXY right now, but it is possible we continue to creep down in this formation and end up closer to this 618 retracement. Many folks have been saying that we do need to retest the 100 level. If we came down, to this golden pocket range, we would be somewhere between 97 and 98. So more than likely, the dollar will continue to lose strength for a little while here. However, we do see this 200 daily moving average starting to flatten out. And we do have this point of control up here closer to this 382 Fibonacci. So, maybe we see a rally up to that point of control or 382 and then a failure back down where we continue to kind of, bounce down to this area trying to find support somewhere on top of this triangle. So none of this is guaranteed. Once again, just taking a look at where the dollar index might go. Obviously, if we want Bitcoin to continue to go up, really is best for the dollar to continue to keep heading sideways and down in this consolidation. So maybe some indication that we're nearing the end of the move for Bitcoin, at least in the short to midterm. But once again, when I look at the Bitcoin monthly, as we did on these line break candles, that tells us a different story, folks. So let's see if the dollar continues to get rejection and fall further. That would be what we would definitely want to see. Heading into this FOMC meeting later. So just to highlight that, I will be attempting to bring you a live stream later for that event. So Fed Chair Jerome Powell is going to be having a news conference around 2:30 p.m. Eastern Time. They will be making an announcement on the federal funds rate just prior to that. So we do want to see that data come out favorably, and hopefully the Fed Chair will come out and make some dovish comments in response to that. So right now, I don't want to give any glaring predictions, but it does look like we're at least maintaining support above this $23,000 level for Bitcoin. And if we do get a favorable report, then, maybe we'll get a little more favorable commentary or dovish commentary out of the Fed Chair, and we can continue this rally off of the monthly close as it appears that we should. It would be pretty neat if we printed, a big candle like this out of the line break, a candle of this size, talking about, 7,000. So technically we've just about printed that already. So yeah, nothing to say that we can or can't do that again. Just keep in mind what we're looking at here does hold a lot of weight because we are on this larger time frame, and it's a good sign. So just real quick, jumping over to Solana and kind of looking at the minutia here and not seeing a whole lot of strength. We did bounce out of the downside on this pattern and looks like bearishly retesting right now. So not really the best sign for Solana. And we can drill back down on Bitcoin, sort of see if maybe we're getting a similar result here. And it looks like maybe a little bit of a fake out after what looked like a breakout of this cup and handle. So let's see if the price continues to consolidate here, or if we're going to continue to lose ground. So we zoom out just a little bit onto this 15-minute time frame. I think we're regaining our momentum here. Let's see if we can pull back out of this little falling, broadening wedge that I highlighted, and see if that momentum will continue to the upside. So let's take a quick look at Ethereum, see if there's any clues that we might have there. I don't think the monthly line break on CME is going to help us too much for Ethereum, but I will jump over to the weekly, and you can see here we don't get false signals on the weekly either, and the weekly did give us this giant bullish candle. So this is a huge breakout candle on this line break chart. Once again, folks, keep in mind confluence on this. When you look at past performance of this line break, it's very likely that we're gonna create some violent price action to the upside. And it may take a little bit of consolidation, as you see here. This candle may not have all that much more upside to it, short to midterm, or it may gravitate all the way up to where this CME gap is at. So let's change up our candles back to the regular candles here, and we'll highlight real quick where this gap is at, up around this 0.5 Fibonacci. So I think honestly, really likely for the price to gravitate in that direction. It may not do it short term. We may see some correction. We're seeing here that we may be potentially getting this rollover on the stochastics RSI. I think we need to avoid that in the short term in order to keep this price action bullish. Couple weekly candles here though that have actually printed red, so potential that we're consolidating in this area, and that we can continue to work our way up for Ethereum. Something that I want to highlight, I was meaning to touch on this in the last stream. I'm just going to touch on it real quickly here. Just want to see if there's any strength that potentially is being gained in these Bitcoin pairs. So moving out to the weekly, not really seeing it, but if we zoom in a little bit, see if maybe there's a downtrend here that might potentially be ending soon for the Bitcoin pairs with the alts. So we can see here right now there is this sort of downtrend resistance line there. And this is almost a broadening type of a channel. So if we want to call it a broadening wedge, that would technically be bullish. Price action is flattened out here, as you can see us consolidating in this range between about 0.0678 and 0.0698 Satoshis. So if we were to gain bullish momentum, we would want to see a 22-hour candle close above this middle Bollinger Band, which is going to be around 69,327. Stochastic RSI is in the oversold territory, but that may actually constitute strength at this point, because as you can see, when Ethereum Bitcoin does start to run, the stochastics RSI does tend to stay in the overbought territory for a while. when we're on this time frame. So this may just be an indication that we're just getting started with a move, with the RSI trying to gain strength, and most likely having bottomed out right here, where we see this formation indicate that we bottomed out as well. And once again, when you see these candles close outside of the Bollinger Bands, a lot of the time that's an indication that's going to be the end of the downtrend, especially when you have a wick come in on the next candle that's shorter than the last one. So right now, all indications are this has created a double bottom and kind of what appears to be a triangle down here in this area. So we want to first get above this downtrend line, which is pretty close to where this middle Bollinger Band is at. And then once we get above that, potentially break out above this, take a look at this upper band and this 200 daily moving average, where Ethereum may potentially gravitate towards, along with this point of control here. And guessing, if we look at the Fibonacci, the point of control is going to coincide with the 618 retrace. How did I know? How did I know? So it's right there. That's our confluence. So if you're looking to scalp Ethereum against Bitcoin, could get a little bit of a move from here. If we take our tool up to the point of control, stop loss just below the formation there, so you can keep that pretty tight, even if you really want. Bring that down a little further, bring it down below that lower band, and that offers you a 4.7 to 1 risk reward ratio for a possible 8.5% scalp versus Bitcoin. If you're using leverage, Freudian slip there. If you're losing leverage, try not to lose your leverage, please. Make sure that you're measuring your risk and using a stop loss. 8.5% potential gain out of the Ethereum Bitcoin pair. So just something to highlight there, that we may be potentially starting to look at making a move with these Bitcoin pairs. Looks like we might be getting a little bit of a green candle popping up on the 12-minute for Solana versus US dollar tether. And I just want to take a real quick look at Solana versus Bitcoin. And that looks good too. That looks good too. So on this smaller time frame, I would say if we break above that level, above that triangle, 10,223 for Solana, then you've got some potential to start a trending move. First initial target, as you would try to work your way back up to that point of control. Not a huge move, just a few percent, but it would be a start, right? So let's see if we can zoom out and get a little larger trend that might have some confluence with what Ethereum was showing us. Right now, that 22-hour, I don't know if that's showing us what we really want to see. We have formed a flag here. So depending on how you want to draw that, price is testing the lower band. Do have this point of control just above it at 10,476. So Solana maybe not looking quite as decisive as Ethereum, but interestingly enough, Solana has pumped a lot closer to this 200 daily moving average than Ethereum, so it's possible Ethereum has a move in it, and Solana, for whatever reason, may have already made its move. It is also possible it's just consolidating here. And with that consolidation, let's say it breaks out closer to the point of control. Maybe it takes a little bit longer. But with that consolidation, you could see a trending move to the 26,000 area. So maybe 1.5x your Bitcoin with Solana. Once again, no guarantees with this stuff. Just want to see if there was any confluence with that line. Not the best, but that is a potential possibility. So we may be seeing some Bitcoin pairs start to heat up here if we can get the Fed to say something favorable later. So we'll just scoot back real quick just to try and get a final picture before I jump off on where the price is headed for the S&P. This looks favorable to me with this consolidation around the middle Bollinger Band and the RSI bouncing off the 50 level and the stochastics RSI in this oversold territory. This tells me that we're going to get a bounce here from this cup and handle formation that's being created. It's kind of similar to what I highlighted on Bitcoin, right? So there's our cup. There's our handle. Maybe a little bit of a falling broadening again. Take that measured move. $4,094, so just below 4,100. Maybe potentially by around the time Powell wraps his stuff up. So keep that in mind for S&P this morning. Bitcoin still trying to get out of this pattern here. Might be failing. Might just be consolidating. We'll have to see. We do need to just try and negotiate that point of control. Something else to highlight. There was kind of a diamond pattern here at the end of that triangle. So usually those diamonds would indicate a reversal at the end of a downtrend. So the hope would be to continue the upward price movement, but right now I don't like what this stochastic RSI is showing us on that 24-minute time frame. When we zoom out to the 96, maybe a little more favorable there as we're trying to gain strength at that 50 level on both the RSI and stochastic RSI. So I think maybe that's where we'll leave off. I don't know if we've got anything that's really breaking out this morning. Anything moving in the top 10? Not really. Cardano made a little move. Dogecoin down. Polygon down. Pretty flat right now. Waiting on the Fed. Just waiting on the Fed, folks. So I think we're going to leave off there. Please like and subscribe. Hit the bell for notifications. If you enjoyed the content that you were seeing, we're going to be bringing more content daily, both live streams and pre-recorded. Thank you for your support. God bless you. Have a great morning. And we'll be catching up with you soon. Clown World out.